We're joined by Richard Foster for tonight's half-minute review. Richard, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. We'll start by looking back on the 2-0 win over Clyde. Not the prettiest game of football, but 3 points is all that matters, isn't it?
Yeah, the way Clyde play, they make it difficult for you. They go long quite early and feed off the scraps. And I felt we dealt with that very well. And then, we had spells of the game where we played decent enough football up until the final third. And I think maybe our quality let us down on a number of occasions. But over the piece, I felt that we deserved to win the game. And obviously delighted for Zach to get both goals.
And similarly to the Peterhead game, it was one that started quite slowly, but when we've conceded early goals as of late a few times, is it good just to get through that opening stage when we know teams are going to come at us and try and get that an early one?
Yeah, I mean, I think we give teams a massive lift by giving them a goal, and then it gives them something to hang on to. And team Clyde have played a lot of games recently, so we knew that if we give them an early goal, it'll kind of rejuvenate them a little bit, give them a little bit more energy that they're maybe lacking. So it was great to keep the game 0-0 for the early part of the game, and we knew that chances would come, and we knew our quality would shine in the end, which inevitably it did.
Yeah, you mentioned just there that the final ball was a bit off, certainly in the early stages. Was that just a wee bit of an off night? Because recently it has been so good.
Yeah, I think I don't think the pitch helped. I think you've seen a lot of players were slipping. I think a couple of their players, trying to cross the ball had trouble with it as well. It's almost like it sits on top of the grass and you just seem to get under the ball quite easily, which you just need to adjust your technique a little bit. But it was difficult to get to grips with in the early part of the game. And like I say, it was because it was quite firm the pitch, but it was wet on top, so it was a bit slidey. But we should be good enough to deal with that, and I think we did. We came good in the end, and we attacked them with much more purpose. And the final ball obviously improved. Great ball from Tiff for Zach's first goal, and then a great ball from Brian for Zach's second. So it did improve in the second half, but it took us a while to adjust.
Yeah, in the Peterhead game at the weekend, we got that goal right before half time, which set us up really well for the second half. We didn't get that against Clyde. We went in at 0-0. What were the emotions at the end of that first half?
Just, I think we knew we needed to be patient. I think we were all a bit frustrated that we seemed to rush it a little bit in the final third, whether it was a cross wasn't good enough, whether it was a final pass, this final shot goal. But we knew that if we were just patient and we kept doing the right things, kept passing the ball around and try to get in behind them, we knew eventually that a chance would come. And it didn't. There was no. I think because having the Peterhead game behind us, there was no panic, and I think we continued to try and do the right things. And obviously, eventually, we got the breakthrough with Tiff, and then from there, we kind of controlled the game. They put us under a lot of pressure with long balls into the box and stuff, but I felt we dealt with that well. And it's always great to get that second goal to just kind of calm the nerves.
And that half time, was that just a message from the management just to sort of keep going because we did know that we have that quality in the team?
Yeah, keep going. Tidy up with the loose mistakes, the loose passes. Don't give them any incentive in the game, and improve your quality a little bit, but stay patient. 45 minutes is a long time to try and win a game, and thankfully we were able to do that, and we kept doing the right things, and it came to fruition in the end.
Yeah, the goal came in the 65th minute, maybe at a time where Clyde were feeling that maybe they were getting towards getting that draw. Was it sort of a vital time to make that breakthrough and just give us that extra bit of confidence?
Well, yeah, because like you say, the teams start to think, we can get a point out of this, but then at 0-0, even at 1-0, it's precarious. They only need one chance, and like I said, I don't think they created too many opportunities going forward. But when it's 0-0, when it's 1-0, all you need is a ball to land to them in the box. Thankfully, that never happened, and we were able to get the first goal, and I think that settled us down a little bit as well. And then we kept probing, we kept breaking on them, we kept trying to score, and thankfully towards the end, Zach got the second goal, which just kind of that second goal is the chance that we've been missing on numerous occasions this season, and then that allows teams to get back into the game. But thankfully, I know it was late on, but thankfully, he puts the game to bed with that finish.
Yeah, you touched on Scott's assist earlier. It was just one of his typical direct runs, getting to the byline and putting a really good ball across the box. He's been a real difference maker for us since he arrived at the club, and you need those sort of players in games like that one last night.
Yeah, he certainly has, and I think he's, with like you say, with his pace, certainly his directness. But I think he's actually, he's. I think Connor's been excellent recently as well, and I think that's in part due to someone like Tiff coming in and adding that competition. I think Joe Cardle's been excellent recently, and it just when you have a quality squad, players know they need to play well to stay in the team. And I think so Tiff coming in has probably, not only has he scored us goals and got us assists himself, but by doing that, he's also helped kind of get the other guys that are playing similar positions to step up to the plate. And like I say, the three of them in recent games have been great. And then you look at Zach coming on last night, wins us a game with his 2 goals. So, we've got a lot of good options in attacking areas, which can, only be a good thing moving forward.
And after Clyde fell behind, you've already touched on the long balls they sent forward. They also put Tom Lang up front just to add an extra body, something extra for us to think about. Did you feel, though, we stood up pretty well? I can't really remember Jamie making too many saves, certainly from open play.
No, yeah, I think we did. I think, like I say, it was almost instant, wasn't it? I thought we thought he was just staying up from a free kick or a corner, but he never went back. So yeah, it adds a bit of pressure. He's a physical presence. He puts the centre halves under pressure. It means that as fullbacks we need to do a lot more covering around just in case they lose the header and stuff. But yeah, I felt comfortable. At no point in the game did we feel stretched. It didn't feel like we were getting, that they were on top and they were putting us under too much pressure. Because we were dealing with, I think both Darren and Stephen dealt with the first ball initially. And then when they never, myself and Kieran or Ryan were there to kind of pick up the pieces. So I think all round we dealt with it quite well.
And Zach Rudden getting his 2 goals, his first 2 goals in the league for the club. Do you think that's exactly the sort of moment that he needed just to go and kick on and get back to the form he had when he was on loan at Falkirk?
Yeah, because Zach there's definitely a very good player in there. I think sometimes he tries too hard because he's so anxious to do well and score goals for the team because, he wants the team to do well. And he's young. You'll learn that, and I've tried to say to him that when you're running at 100 miles an hour, you ain't going to be able to take a good touch or put in a good finish. And I think we've seen that last night when he come on, he scores a goal quickly after coming on, and that settled him into the game. And his all-round game was excellent. With his pace and power up front, it gives us a real option in behind teams. And I think him scoring those 2 goals, I think he said himself, he feels like a weight's been lifted off his shoulders. A weight that he's put on his own shoulders, I must say. But there is definitely a top player in there, and hopefully now we're going to start to see it come out more often.
And going back to the defensive side for a moment, obviously that's 2 clean sheets in a row now after having come back from the break. We hadn't had one in the league yet. How happy are you with that as obviously part of that defence?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, that's what, as defenders, you pride yourself on not conceding goals. And I think before the break, we done that. I think we were 7 or 8 games we went in a row without conceding a goal, which is excellent. Obviously, we never picked up the results in every one of those games that we wanted, but keeping a clean sheet always gives you that platform. And I think we've seen that in the last 2 games. We haven't given teams a lift. We haven't had to fight back from a losing position. And it's allowed us to be more relaxed in our play and less frantic going forward. And I think, as defenders, you go out there and that's what you want to do. You want to give your attacking players a platform to go and win you the game. And in the last 2 games, we've managed to do that.
And we're top of the form table for the last 5 games. Does it feel like we're getting into a rhythm of playing some good football and obviously the results as well?
Yeah, I think, at this point in the season, it's you want to be playing good football, but it's the results that matter. But because we were kind of, the first 20 minutes, it was slow against Peterhead, but then we came into the game and then we dominated. Last night, there's always going to be those spells in games where the other team are on top and the other team have possession. But I think we're dealing with that much better. Certainly in the last 2 games, we're not panicking. Like I say, we're not giving up many opportunities to the other team, which makes a huge difference. But yeah, it's starting to feel, it's a happy camp today. We're going to tomorrow with a lot of confidence. But we know that it's going to be a tough game. I think, of the games we've played, with no disrespect to other teams, I've felt that the Montrose game was the toughest game we've played. So we know, we're fully aware of how difficult it's going to be tomorrow night. I think they're the top goal scorers in the league as well. So we know they pose a threat, and we won't be taking it lightly, but we do go into the game with some decent confidence.
Oh, thanks for your time, Richard, and good luck for the game.
Okay, thank you.